Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome back to another great episode of Partnership for Profits. I am your host, Will Brooks, and today we are talking with a guest who knows the power of partnerships in and out of the courtroom. We have John Risvold with us today, who is a partner at the Collins Law Firm in Chicago, where he represents families in catastrophic injury and wrongful death cases, from trucking and auto accidents to medical malpractice and nursing home abuse. John has built his practice on trust, referrals, and storytelling, recovered millions of dollars for his clients while also helping to grow the firm's reach and reputation. You also serve as a Park District Commissioner in Naperville, Illinois, which is cool, proving that authentic leadership shows up everywhere. John, welcome to Partnership for Profits, man. I'm glad you could join us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So John, real quick, I know I kind of just laid it out, but tell us a little bit about you and the firm.
Sure. So the firm, we focus on helping people that are hurt, helping families that are hurt. Everything, like you said, catastrophic injury primarily. I tell folks often that we're the lawyers that the billboard lawyers call when they need to know what the inside of a courtroom looks like. And I say that in jest because some of those folks that do a lot of the marketing and advertising are some of our best partners,
right?
Some of our best referral sources. But we're a firm that's interested in getting justice for families and for the injured, and helping as many people as we can.
Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about building partnerships in law. I think a lot of times for people in the legal world, law can kind of feel like a little bit of a solo pursuit. But from what I understand, you kind of built a big part of your career on partnerships. So why do you think strong partnerships are just as important in law as they are in business?
Yeah, it's not what you know, it's who you know, I think. And that resonates, I think, in every industry, but certainly in mine. Some of the best cases I've ever been able to work on or handle, or some of the best clients I've ever been able to help, have come referred. They've come referred from people that know us, like us, and trust us, that know our work product, know that we're going to go the distance for folks, and they keep showing up. And the same with satisfied clients. We treat our clients not like file numbers, but like family.
Right.
Every single one of my clients gets my cell phone number. Every single one of my clients has direct access to me, and that pays dividends in the long run. Not only are we able to form better relationships with our clients, but our clients become fans and they become spokespeople for us. And a lot of our really good cases and referrals come also from past clients as well. So I think it's vital to build those relationships and build that trust with clients, with other lawyers, so that we're the go-to when something bad, unfortunately, does happen.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that applies, like you were saying, it doesn't just apply to the law. It applies really in any business venture that you have. It's all about the relationships that you build with people, whether it's with your clients or with the vendors that you're working with, or whoever it might be. It starts from building a relationship. I mean, that's why we have this podcast, to be honest with you, John. It's a relationship builder. It's a network builder. It's an incredible tool to do that with, and it just kind of starts things off on a really nice conversational way, and you can kind of build from there. So referrals as partnerships, you've built a lot of your practice on referrals, like you were saying. What's the secret to creating a partnership with someone where they will keep sending you cases and cases over and over again?
Yeah, I don't really think it's a secret. It's hard work, really. That's number one. And it's trust and following up. A lot of times, you'll refer a case out, or cases get referred out, and you might never hear from that lawyer again. And then maybe if you're lucky, you get a call and there's a referral check because you sent a referral and you have an agreement. But that's not how I like to do it. I have taken more to co-counseling, working with other firms and saying, look, 100% of zero is not helping anybody, but 50% of a fee that we can actually recover helps everybody. So we'll go 50-50 on cases with folks, or we'll come in to litigate cases that some people don't litigate. A lot of our best partners are other personal injury firms and other personal injury lawyers that don't do catastrophic cases or med mal or the nursing home or trucking stuff that we do. And we're able to add value in that sense because we have an expertise and we have institutional knowledge that they might not have right off the bat. And so we can add that right away. And so it's really just hard work and showing them the end result, and sort of the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah. Is it a two-way street for you guys too? Or are you referring things off to those people as well? Because I feel like that's a big part of that. That's part of the relationship, right? Is a give and take.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
100%. If I need a good family lawyer, I have 2 or 3 right off the top of my head that I could give you. If you needed an estate planning lawyer, or, in Illinois, lawyers also do a lot of real estate work with trust and title companies for home purchases or property purchases. We've got a stable of those folks ready to help our clients or anybody that asks, should they need them. My goal is to be the person that they call first, so that I can refer out and say, this is the person I trust, and this is the person I think is who you should go with. And they're really going to help you. And getting to know those lawyers and those people in the community, and being able to build those friendships and relationships, it takes a lot of time, and it's a lot of, boots on the ground, pounding pavement, but it really does pay dividends in a lot of different ways, not just for business, but some of these folks have become very good friends, and you build a lot of really good relationships that also have the added benefit of being good business relationships too.
100%. Beyond, I'm writing a note down here about this question I wanted to ask you. Beyond the beyond law firms and other than people in the legal industry that you might be building those referral networks, building a referral network with, we see a lot of law firms that are also doing outreach to the community. I'm curious if that's something that you guys have put into play, whether it's through a charitable organization or whatever it might be. Are you guys enacting that with what you're doing? Is there other outreach? Because those are important relationships to build too, I think, especially for a law firm, especially for a PI firm where you're doing personal injury, that kind of stuff.
Totally. Yeah. One of the ways that we've done that is making sure that we show up at community events locally. I think the way we've thought about it is start hyper local. Being in Chicago, I live in the suburbs of Chicago, so start in the burb and move your way out and sort of expand the radius that way. But making sure that we're a presence in our community, making sure that people see us and know us, not just because they saw, a sign or an advertisement or a billboard or something, but they actually have had an interaction. That really is a huge part of it. And, a lot of that is just trying to be everywhere all the time. Hard to do, but knowing that, showing up to these events and putting in the time to serve your community really will turn into trust that later turns into business. It's a matter of, I think, building a brand that's not just a personal injury law firm, but building a brand that is a community leader that
100%.
people trust, that then also does the types of work that we do.
Love to hear that. That's what we preach to the folks we work with all the time is, social media videos are great, billboards are great, radio ads are great, but there's a whole lot more that you need to be doing to make sure you're ingrained in your community and being that person that they the people that they want to call on when they have trouble. For sure. So let's shift a little bit, John. Let's talk a little bit about storytelling and storytelling as a connector. You're a trial lawyer, right? Sort of.
I'm a storyteller.
That's what I was going to. Trial lawyers are storytellers, right? Lawyers are storytellers, in my opinion. How has storytelling helped you not only win cases, but also connect with those people that you want to build a referral or a relationship with? Not just a referral, but just a relationship with. How has storytelling helped you, in that avenue?
Yeah, it's everything. Honestly, I don't have any lawyers in my family. I'm the only lawyer in my family. Didn't have any lawyers to look to growing up. But I've always just sort of been good at storytelling and writing and getting up and talking just off the cuff. And somebody suggested to me, my high school debate coach actually suggested to me, you'd make a great lawyer. And I thought, I don't know anything about that. And what I found on the back end is I don't know that I'd necessarily make a great lawyer, but I'm a really good salesman and I'm a pretty good storyteller and I care a lot and I'll work really hard. And you mix all that up and it does tend to have a good outcome. I think being able to get up and tell somebody's story in court about what has happened to them, how their life has been irreparably changed, and what needs to be done as a community to fix it starts with being able to tell the story effectively. And really the way you do it is you learn who this person is and get to know them, spend time with them, learn their story, and then being able to effectively communicate it in a way that's not just evoking sympathy, but also is really showing this is a real person and this is why you should care about them. Because we're communal people. We want stories. I mean, most of what we're doing at the end of the day on a daily basis is consuming just gobs and gobs and gobs of content. And all the content is storytelling. All it is somebody's story, some way, somehow. And that's what we want. We're craving it. There's so much of it endlessly, and people will constantly complain that, and I do it too. I'm guilty of it. I don't have anything to watch, or there's nothing good on TV, or I can sit here and scroll through my phone forever and accomplish nothing. But none of that's really true. It's that there's nothing that's compelling me, and there's nothing that is pulling me in that direction or capturing my attention, especially in a time now where we have no attention span and we have no ability to really hook people in unless we are compelling, unless we give them a reason to like us and trust us. And it really starts with having a story that matters to people and having a story that's really compelling to people. And I think in my line of work, there are a lot of those stories, and it's just a matter of explaining it to them. And I don't have to just explain it to a jury. I have to be able to explain it to a judge. I have to be able to teach medicine to an insurance adjuster or a defense lawyer sometimes. And so being able to communicate that story and being able to teach a little bit really helps me drive the cases forward and get great results for clients.
I love hearing that. I couldn't agree with you more. I think everyone has a story to tell, and I think there's a different audience for every story. That talking about, how you have to tell those stories and build that empathy with people. Do you find that you have to? I have an acting background. My background is in acting and performance and production, and I'm a storyteller as well.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of times, you have to kind of know your audience, and you may have to adjust how you're telling that story based on the audience that you're telling it to. Is that something that you find yourself having to do as an attorney to kind of be able to a little bit of code switching? Like, okay, well, this guy is going to be more like this. Let me adjust how I'm presenting this to him. Do you do that a lot? And what do you do to kind of adjust there?
Yeah, it's just an ability to read people sometimes. Like, I have a terrible poker face, so I wouldn't be a good card player probably, but I'm pretty good at reading people, and I'm pretty good at sort of feeling that relationship out. And there's a time to be soft. There's a time to be sharp. There's a time to be aggressive. There's a time to sit back and let things come to you. And all of that is part of the process of telling the larger story. If you think about, the old boring sort of story structure of the introduction, the rising action, all of, the
inciting incident, all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is like that in every single case, in every single scenario to some degree. And so there are times in the story or in the relationship where you need to let off the gas, and it's trial and error, a lot of it too. Like, I wasn't great at this, and I'm still not great at this, and I'm always learning to get better and always reading and studying and taking classes, acting classes, speaking classes. Those sorts of things are tremendous for lawyers that want to be in a courtroom. I think that they're great prep, but some of the best preparation I had was waiting tables and bartending.
For working with people, 100%, because you're talking to all kinds of people,
totally.
who are, maybe they're in a great place, maybe they're in a really bad place. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or maybe they start in a really great place and they come in and their kid has a meltdown during the middle of dinner and they're in a terrible place, and you have to pivot halfway through, and you have to be able to read the situation and understand, okay, now I need to do this,
right,
versus what I would usually do is that. And that flexibility, I think, really makes a huge difference, and it translates to everything.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought about, as an actor, if you're an actor, you're going to wait tables, you're going to bartend. Like, that's just par for the course, right? I guess that applies to everybody though. You're going to learn to, you work in that service industry, you're going to learn people. You're going to get those people skills that, I mean, you can't necessarily learn that in school. That's not something you're going to learn there. You've taken acting classes?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've taken acting classes. It's been a while since I've
taken. You ever done improv?
I haven't done any improv. I should, but when you live in Chicago and you have Second City here and it churns out like every SNL cast member for 40 years, it's not exactly something that I think people are chomping at the bit at, unless you've got the Bill Murray type chops.
Man, because we work with a lot of law firms on, on podcast production and social media creation, and they get nervous in front of the camera, and which I always find funny because you guys are in front of a crowd all the time, but I guess it's a different animal for them to do it the other way, to do it that way. And we encourage every client we have, like there's an improv class near you. Go take the entry level improv class, and it's going to make you better, not only as an attorney, but just all the way around. So that's really cool that you've taken acting classes. I don't know that I have ever talked to another attorney who has said, yeah, I've taken acting classes.
You have to, if you're going to do what you do. Look, my biggest fear is not, getting in front of a camera or getting up to speak in front of somebody. It's that I have so much of my client's future and their outcome in my hands.
Right.
Really, I'm just worried that I'm not going to do enough. And so that's sort of what has driven me to be a better storyteller, to be a better performer, because there is an aspect of performance to trying cases in front of a jury. And I don't want it to feel like it's TV or like it's performative.
Right.
I want it to be authentic, but I also have to be good at it. Right.
So I'm glad you brought up that authenticity. That kind of leads me to my next question for you. So you emphasize authenticity and branding in relationships. So and you having to be yourself and being comfortable being yourself is such an important part of being an attorney. And people buying into, oh, okay, this guy's real. He's not blowing smoke here. He's a real person. Why does being yourself work better than trying to be what you think clients or a jury or a judge wants to see?
I think it's a lot harder to act your way through life than it is to just be yourself. It's taken me a long time to come to that realization, certainly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, right? To know yourself and like yourself and trust yourself. And there are days where sometimes it's easier to fake it before you've made it, right? But I found time and again that when I'm brutally honest with clients, when I'm just myself and I show up as myself, they are more comfortable. Most days I'm not in a suit. I came from court before, we were able to speak today, but most days you'll find me in like a hoodie and a hat. And most days you'll find me built for comfort because
right.
I don't want to sit at a desk in a suit all day long. And clients appreciate that. I thought at first they'd look at me sideways and say, oh, geez, my lawyer's showing up in, and he looks like a schlub. And they love it. I'm glad you're not stuffy and buttoned up. And I just think
puts them at ease, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it also just to let your personality show a little bit, right? Like I am who I am, and there are lots of lawyers that do what I do. And so if I'm not the right fit, then I can find you somebody who is, and I can help you find somebody who's the right fit. But what you're going to see is what you're going to get. And I don't think that there's any benefit to trying to pretend to be somebody that you're not. If you want to be somebody different, figure out the way to be that person and go be it by learning and working and getting there, right? But I am who I am. I'm a nerdy kid who grew up getting bullied a bunch because I loved comic books and Star Wars, all the things that Disney bought and made popular and famous, right? So all the things that I was bullied for are now all the things my kids love. And I never really shied away from that. Like, that's just who I am. And that's what shaped me and made me who I am. And I think that letting that be seen by others instead of just trying to create a highlight reel of what I think others would appreciate or want to see,
right,
has helped.
So why is it, do you think, that when people think about lawyer advertising on television or the radio, they all sound the same, especially personal injury, right? They are interchangeable for the most part.
Yeah.
So why are we not seeing that, what you're talking about, that level of authenticity in legal advertising, in television commercials, on radio spots, on billboards? Some of these billboards are bananas. So what do you think it is that's keeping people from being authentic? And I feel like that would work, at least for me. I feel like that would work better to bring people in, but maybe it doesn't, and that's why they're not doing it. I don't know.
I'm really not sure why there's not more authenticity. I understand why some of the commercials and radio ads are done the way that they're done. Mm-hmm. It's because of our attention span being so short. You really have to quickly hook people. Right. But also what I do is so different than the way so many other lawyers operate. I only get paid if I win. I only work on a contingency. And every single client I've ever had doesn't instantly understand that they don't have to fork over money to hire me, and that there's no risk to them to hire me, that I'm the one taking the risk for them, and that I'm only going to get paid if I win for them. And so there's just so much education that needs to happen right off the bat, that if you can jam it into a commercial and start to pre-educate, that might help. And that is a lot of why you hear like, no fee until we win, no risk to you, no.
You don't get paid, you don't get paid. Yeah.
Exactly, because it's so different than what people are used to. I have friends that I've been friends with for 30 years who still talk to me about billing hours. And I still tell them, not for me. I don't bill any hours. It's a wonderful thing not to have to, but you know, you guys get paid per hour. I only get paid perhaps.
Yeah. It's a different kind of law altogether, for sure. Yeah, man, I feel like if we could get that level of
they're doing it well. Like Mike Morse in Detroit, he does a really good job of being able to balance both. His advertising is very authentic, very true to him, and it's also very good at educating quickly. And so if I'm looking for, you know, a model, if I'm looking for who I would like to be like if I were to advertise, I would definitely lean more that way than a lot of what I've seen in our area, certainly, which just tends to be a lot of the same type of advertising. And it's, even for me, as somebody who does this, it's hard to differentiate between some of those folks that are doing the advertising here in Chicago, because it all is very, very similar. It's not some sort of unique flavor of advertising. It's just kind of all the same flavor of vanilla. And I think it's ripe for somebody to hop in and stand out like that.
That's not exclusive to Chicago, my friend. I'm in the Atlanta area. I don't know if you've ever been to Atlanta, but oof, magoof, it is a competitive market for, especially for PI. And I mean, you can't turn your head without a billboard in your face. Yeah. And it's usually the same 7 or 8 people. And they're all saying the same thing. And there's a lot of flexing in that advertising. And they are all suited up and looking their best. Yeah, somebody put a hoodie on in an ad. Do it, like, you know, lighten up.
Right. You can be a really good lawyer and get millions and millions of dollars in recoveries for your clients and still wear a hat and a hoodie. I promise.
Exactly, and you know the circumstances that people are in when they've had a catastrophic injury or they've been in an accident are serious enough. So I kind of feel like, you know, hey, I'm just like you, and I'm going to help you out. I feel like that could go a long, long way. So, so John, let's shift a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the Park District Commissioner position. You got elected to that position. Is that right?
It is. Yeah. So I ran for that position a couple of years ago and was elected, and I would be up for re-election in 2027 if I were to run again. And I don't know if I will or not yet, but I've very much enjoyed it. It's been an opportunity to get back to my community, to get more involved, and to sort of see the inner workings of kind of how the sausage is made. Right. But I've really enjoyed it. Had
you always wanted to kind of get into politics at all, or?
When I was younger, yeah, I thought it would be a lot of fun to get involved, maybe go out to, you know, DC, or maybe get more involved at a higher level. And what I found as I've gotten older is the way that I'm able to make the most impact and the way that I'm able to help people the most is staying local. And the more I focus at home, both at work and in service, the more I focus at home, the better place I'm creating for my kids to grow up, and the better place I'm creating around me. And that spillover effect, again, like I said, just sort of expand that radius from where you are now, and start where you are now, and really dive into making where you live better. And we can all worry about making DC better some other time once we've made it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that the change starts at a local level. I think a lot of people believe that way. Not enough people think that way. So kudos to you for kind of stepping in and you know, wanting to get involved in that way. How so that's an elected position.
Yeah.
Was there campaigning involved? Because
I had to knock doors and campaign, and meet people, and that, you know, sort of went back to the storytelling, because every single person that opens the door wants to know, why should we give a single care about this kid? Right. And you know, you have to explain to them, this is what I've seen working and going really well that I want to help with, and this is where I think I can add value, and this is what I think we could do that would make it better for you. And you got to be careful too, because you can't overpromise and underdeliver. So it was definitely something where I was happy that I have the background that I have, where I speak for a living. So I was able to talk to, a lot of people. And it was also nice to be able to meet so many of my neighbors and community members that I probably otherwise wouldn't have connected with,
Right.
and wouldn't have gotten to know. So it was a really cool experience in that regard too.
So I'm imagining that, we've talked a lot about partnerships and relationship building. I'm guessing that the partnerships and relationships that you already had established were helpful in you getting elected.
Yeah, it was surprising. Some of it was very surprising to me. It's a nonpartisan job. And when you go on the ballot, there's no R or D next to your name,
Right.
which I liked. I thought that was nice. But, even then, there's still sort of factions that develop. And this group is with, all organized together. And this group is all organized together. And, I was able to work with some of those organizations, but also because I've made a lot of good friends and crossed a lot of those sort of lines and was really focused on just meeting good people and forging good friendships. I didn't really have any sort of issue with one political party or the other. If you spend any time on any of my social media, you'll know very quickly where I fall politically. And I'm not quiet about my politics,
Okay.
but I'm also very much of the mindset that if you're going to get something done, it has to be done together. Like there's no purpose in drilling holes in the boat that we're all sitting in.
I agree.
Right. So being able to walk that line, I think, was really helpful to me, because it just came back to, this is an opportunity to build relationships and friendships. This is an opportunity to help people. And that's really what I'm about, honestly.
I love it. Let's lighten up a little bit here. You mentioned that you're a big Star Wars fan. I'm a big Star Wars fan too.
Nice.
What's your what's your favorite of the films, of the Star Wars movies?
Oh, it's Empire. Empire is the one.
Okay, that's the right answer.
It is. Yeah, there's only one right answer, right?
That's the right answer.
And then all the stuff that Tony Gilroy's done with Andor and Rogue One is really hard to compete with some of that stuff, because it's just, again, masterful storytelling.
It's a completely different ball game when that, because I love Rogue One as well, which is also Tony Gilroy. I think he had a whole lot more to do with that than the director did of that movie, but that's cool. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan and movie buff. So when I hear someone, especially, I don't hear a lot of attorneys who are like, yeah, man, I love
huge Star Wars fan. My love of Star Wars recently won us good barroom trivia too.
Oh yeah.
Is I'm the type of nerd that actually knows the odds of successfully navigating an asteroid field. Which was the bonus question, is what are the odds? And it's 3,720 to 1. And everyone in the bar was like, either get him a drink or get him out of here. I feel
like the right answer could also be never tell me the odds, because I know that's
100%.
Very cool, John. This has been such a good conversation, man. I love your outlook on relationship building and partnerships and storytelling, man. It sounds like you're doing things the right way, which love to hear. Before we wrap it up here, let people know how they can get in touch with you and how they can get in touch with the firm, because we got folks all over the country. So I know there's folks in Illinois who are watching as well.
Absolutely. So I'm with the Collins Law Firm. It's collinslaw.com. And you can find me primarily on Instagram, probably the easiest way to connect with me, because I use Instagram, I think, the way it's meant to be used, actually socially interacting with people. You can find me. I'm Riz, R-I-Z, injury lawyer. So pretty easy to find me there. If you want to connect, and I'd love to learn more about, other people's stories and how we might be able to help in any way that we can.
Love it, man. I'm going to follow you as soon as we get off the pod here. I'm going to go up and give you a follow. John, this has been great. Really appreciate you giving us some time today. Those of you who are watching live out there, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you're watching the recorded version on YouTube, we also appreciate that. And we really appreciate a like and a subscribe to the page. We've got more episodes coming. I have another podcast later this afternoon with another good guest. I don't know if they'll be as tuned in to Star Wars as John is, but we'll find out. John, this has been awesome, man. Appreciate you coming on, and hope we can get you back on soon.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thanks for the opportunity. It's great to talk to you. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to the next one.
Absolutely. Thanks, John. Take care, buddy.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.